1 hour later.
So today I will talk about the history and downfall of Cubic Sandbox. So those who don't know what is Cubic Sandbox, let me tell. Cubic Sandbox is an open-world physical sandbox where you can manipulate various objects and experiment with physics with your friends. Features: PvP, multiplayer, free world. Cubic Sandbox was released in 2018, and it gained a decent popularity, and by 2021, almost many players started playing Cubic Sandbox and it became a virtual world for them. Many YouTubers started shooting videos on Cubic Sandbox and uploaded in YouTube. Now let's see the history of Cubic Sandbox. Cubic Sandbox is divided in 3 phases. In first phase, so when Cubic Sandbox was released, the game was full of players. No one really used any username. As time passed by, people started using usernames. By the end of 2019, the downfall began. Yes, in 2020 the first ever hacker to be appeared in Cubic Sandbox was Megatron, although Megatron is appeared in 4 months and everything was normal. But this time when Swift Game released mod menu for Cubic Sandbox. This year was the turning point of Cubic Sandbox. People started using Swift Gamer mod and they became hackers with multiple features like God Mode, Take Owner, Keycall and many more. This make the end of Phase 1, the noob and pro era. But it was the beginning of Phase 2. The rise of hackers. The last few months of 2020 was the era of hackers, but not all are good hackers. People started refusing the game and started trolling others. Many players got disturbed by bad hackers. The half of players quitted Cubic Sandbox and Cubic Sandbox lost its population. There was a slight decline in population of players in 2021. But when good hackers started playing Cubic Sandbox, it gained popularity a little bit by 2021. Till 2022 everything was normal. Both good hackers and bad hackers played Cubic Sandbox, fighting among them, and the pro players also started playing Cubic Sandbox. But middle of 2022 many new advanced hackers came. Now people started complaining. This was the beginning of Phase 3, the rise of advanced hackers era. Now almost 85% people in Cubic Sandbox are being hackers or advanced hackers. Since the game had no update and game is full of shitters, a majority of people quitted Cubic Sandbox. By 2023 there was a slightly major decline in Cubic Sandbox, and eventually the game is dead. This game is full of cheaters and yet not all of the is bad. There are many good hackers whose job is to make Cubic Sandbox better and free from bad hackers. But since then there was no update. The game started dying. The advanced hackers used hacks like game grenades, mod menus, and in this way the whole Cubic Sandbox was divided in 2 sides, the good hackers and bad hackers. The downfall began. Phase 3 has started and this era is called the Age of Hackers, and yet I am in the good hacker category and I want you all to make Cubic Sandbox a better place. So are you bad or good hacker? Come down. Thanks for listening to the history of Cubic Sandbox, and if you enjoyed then subscribe my channel, and be a hero of Cubic Sandbox in good hacker category and make it a better place for once and all.